What is comedy? According to Dartmouth College Library, comedy is a genre that is created to evoke laughter from the audience. It attempts to create a sense of overall joy or even sometimes uncomfortableness when watched. You often see characters in comedies finding themselves in tricky situations that they are unable to get out of and have to then perform some inane acts to get out of them.
We might change, yeah.
This can be both enjoyable and awkward to sit through, but that's what comedies are all about. Comedies are best known for ridiculing stupidity, immorality, and foolishness.
Mind you that it does not say RSVP on the Statue of Liberty. Thank you very much.
It pokes fun at things that occur to the characters along with the characters themselves. Throughout the history of comedies, every decade typically has a certain style that it tries to stick to or replicate based on what is trendy. According to the Internet Archive, comedy in film rose to popularity from the 1890s to 1930s, starting off as silent, relying on slapstick and satire. Then from the 30s to 50s, sound was introduced, starting an era of verbal humor and screwball comedy. From the 60s to 90s, dark comedy started to form, as well as social commentary through humor. Then from the 90s to 2010s, romantic comedies became a huge hit. From the 2000s to now, technology continues to be experimented with, specifically in the field of animation, where many films of comedic intent have been created in this regard.
Hold up. Oh, come on.
Uh-oh. Well, this has been
Who are
fun.
you talking to?
But I really gotta wrap this up.
Comedy is one of the most diverse genres of cinema from its several subgenres. These subgenres consist of romantic comedy, comedy drama, action comedy, dark comedy, gross out, teen comedy, and mockumentary. Romantic comedies, or rom-coms, are usually films that portray love stories in a humorous manner. Creative dynamics between the main love interests are usually implemented, or side characters can serve as the main source of laughter. Famous movies associated with this subgenre are Clueless by Amy Heckerling, When Harry Met Sally by Rob Reiner, 10 Things I Hate About You by Jill Junger, and But I'm a Cheerleader by Jamie Babbitt.
Then suddenly... Oh my god! I love Josh!
Comedy dramas usually have a deeper tone than the other subgenres. Directors use comedy in these dramatic films as a way to stray away from making a film entirely intense or by applying a witty edge to the drama. Examples of comedy dramas are Frances Ha by Greta Gerwig, Fleabag by Phoebe Waller-Bridge, The Devil Wears Prada by David Frankel, The Grand Budapest Hotel by Wes Anderson, and The Wolf of Wall Street by Martin Scorsese.
Yes. Jordy, look what you got here.
What?
Look at this. $26,000 for one dinner.
Okay, no, this could be explained. Dad, we had the Pfizer clients.
Right, the porterhouse from
The
Argentina.
expensive champagne, the wine. We had to buy champagne, and you ordered all the sides. Tell them about the sides
I
you
ordered
ordered.
the sides, so...
Sides?
Yeah.
Very
Sides?
expensive.
$26,000 worth of sides? What are these sides? They cure cancer?
The sides did cure cancer. That's the problem. That's why they were expensive.
Shut the up.
I'm serious. I know.
Stop.
Action comedies often involve plots that surround action-based scenarios to incorporate humor. These films usually have a superhero-like energy to them. Notable action comedies are Deadpool by Tim Miller, Everything Everywhere All at Once by the Daniels, and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World by Edgar Wright.
You're outside?
Is Scott here?
You know what? He just left.
Really?
Yeah. Sorry.
Dark comedy is used in film when humor is stylized toward morbid or taboo topics, building off of said topics to create a greater comical outcome. Examples in this subgenre are Heathers by Michael Lehman, Fargo by the Coen Brothers, American Psycho by Mary Harron, Mr. and Mrs. Smith by Doug Liman, and Knives Out by Ryan Johnson.
Do you know what Ed Gein said about women?
Ed Gein, maitre d' canal bar?
No. Serial killer, Wisconsin in the 50s.
And what did Ed say?
He said, when I see a pretty girl walking down the street, I think two things. One part of me wants to take her out and talk to her, be real nice and sweet and treat her right.
And what the other part of him think?
What her head would look like on a stick.
The subgenre of gross out is when disgusting or repulsive situations are used for comedic value. These situations commonly surround puberty, inappropriate content, visually disturbing scenes, etc. Examples include Dumb and Dumber by Peter Farrelly, Animal House by John Landis, the TV series Big Mouth by Andrew Goldberg, Jennifer Blackett, Nick Kroll, and Mark Levin, as well as the series South Park by Trey Parker and Matt Stone. Teen comedies surround humor catered to the teenage audience, usually involving high school elements as key parts of the story. Typically, it contains jokes about maturity, first loves, friendships, etc. Examples from this subgenre are Mean Girls by Mark Waters, Not Another Teen Movie by Joel Gallen, Easy A by Will Gluck, Napoleon Dynamite by Jared Hess, and Ferris Bueller's Day Off by John Hughes.
And evil takes a human form in Regina George. Don't be fooled, because she may seem like your typical selfish, backstabbing, slut-faced hoe bag, but in reality, she is so much more than that.
She's the queen bee, the star. Those other two are just her little workers.
Regina George. How do I even begin to explain Regina George?
Lastly, mockumentaries are the least common of these 7 mentioned subgenres of comedy. This style depicts fictional events and presenting them in documentary format, satiricizing its subject. Staple examples of this category include This is Spinal Tap by Rob Reiner and Bo Rat by Larry Charles.